and then we are going to study different type of tenses. So first, let us begin with the definition of tenses. So, what are tenses? Now, the verb of tenses basically tells us the time at which an event occurs. So, the verb of tenses indicates or determines the time at which an event occurs. So accordingly, the tenses are divided into three types, and those three types of tenses are present tense, past tense, and future tense. Right? So the tenses are divided into three parts: the present tense, the past tense, and the future tense. The present tense indicates the time now. It indicates the time or the event that a certain event is taking place at the present, right now. So it indicates the time now. Past tense, past is the time which has already gone. It has flied away and it can never come back. So past tense represents the time then. Then is for the time that has already gone. And future tense represents for time to come. It has not yet come, but it will arrive in future, right? The event will take place in future. It has not took place. So the three tenses are present tense, past tense, and future tense, and these tenses are further subdivided into various forms, which we will discuss in the further videos. So today our main focus will be on present tense. So present tense determines the time which is taking place, or the event which is taking place at the present form, in the present form right now. So the rule for identifying simple present tense. First type of tense is simple present tense. So the rule for identifying a simple present tense in the sentence is subject plus verb in first form followed by object. So this is a simple rule for identifying a simple present tense in a sentence: subject plus verb in first form plus object. For example, I like to eat ice cream. I over here is my sentence. Like to eat. To eat is my verb in first form. And object over here is ice cream. So this is my simple. Children play in the playground. Children is again my subject. The verb in first form is play, right? And in the playground is my object. So this is my object, this is my verb in first form, and this is my subject. So these were the examples of simple present tense. Now this simple present tense can be in first person, It can be in second person and it can be in third person. Now first person over here indicates I, me, my. Second person indicates you, yours. And third person indicates some other person, they, them, their. Right? That is the third person. So the first person example is I eat. Second person example is you eat. And third person example is she eats. Right? It can be they, it can be she, it can be he. I am saying she eats. She is my singular adjective, and for singular adjective we will use the verb plus s. Right? I play. I sing. You sing. He sings. So for third person, always remember that in present form we make use of s after the verb. Right? Verb, first form of verb plus s for third person. So for third person we make use of the verb in first form plus s. But there are certain conditions in which we do not make use of the letter s, but we make use of letter es. Right? Like over here I say eat. Here it is eats. But the certain words which end with o, ch, sh, z, gh, ss, all these words, all these letters, right? Some are letters, some are words, right? If the words end with these letters, then we make use of es only for the third person. So examples of such words can be, now in first form or in first person, it can be I go. In second person, it can be you go. And in third person, since I am making use of the word go and it ends with o, therefore it can be he or she or it and goes. So this goes is the form of simple present form, right? It is a simple present tense, and for the third person, if it is singular like he, she, it, we will be making use of es rather than only s. There is no word as gos. This is wrong. It is always spelled goes. So plural of go is goes, right? It is used for the third person, but for the first and for the second person there will be no change. It will be just a simple form of word. But here this third person is considered to be singular. But if the same person is plural, so for that I will say we go. We go, the first person but in a plural form. The second person is singular form as well as in plural form is the same. There is no change. You go, you go. In singular form also it is the same. In plural form also it will be the same. There will be no change in the sentence. But for the third person, he, she, it becomes they. For he also it will be there. For she also it will be there. And even for it will be they. So they go. Then there will be no es. Es will only be used for the third person who is in single form, right? So for singular we use es, for plural no es is used. Now then, there are certain rules for making use of simple present tense. So the rules for making use of simple present tense is, first is that we make use of simple present tense when we want to state something which is a universal truth. So first is when you want to state some universal truth. So for mentioning any universal truth, we will never make use of past tense or future tense. That statement will always be in simple present tense. For example, the sun rises in the east. The sun rises in the east. This is the universal truth. Can sun ever rise from the west? No. The sun always rises from the east. Sorry, it is not in, it is from. The sun always rises from the east. The sun can never rise from the west. This is a universal truth. Or another example is, the earth revolves around the sun. Now this is a universal truth. Can earth ever revolve around planet Jupiter? No. The earth always revolves around the sun. This is a universal truth and no one can dare challenge this statement and prove this statement wrong. Why? Because this is the statement or this is the fact that is created by the universe, right? So all the universal truth, the sentences will always be in simple present form. Now the second, this was the first. The second way in which a simple tense is always used is for the event that happens and is still occurring. It has not yet ended and it is still occurring. For example, Ram lives in Mumbai. Now, Ram has been living in Mumbai, right? But he has not left Mumbai. Today also he lives in Mumbai. So the event that happens and is still happening. The event is in continuation. It hasn't stopped. So Ram lives in Mumbai. This is not a universal truth, right? He can live anywhere else also. But that event is still occurring, and since the event is still occurring, I will say Ram lives in Mumbai. If I say Ram lived in Mumbai, that will be a past tense that we will cover later. But right now we are focusing on simple present and this statement is in simple present form. Sonia dances. Now Sonia dances, she is continuing dancing. She hasn't stopped that passion. So Sonia dances, event that happens and is still occurring. Now the third way in which the present tense can be used is for the proverbs. For the proverbs, all the proverbs that we use can never be in past form. The proverbs that are being mentioned in English are always in simple present form, right? So the example is, honesty is the best policy. I cannot say honesty was the best policy. Honesty will be the best policy. Is always for present tense. Another example is, prevention is better than cure. This is again a proverb. You must have heard of this. So prevention is better than cure. Again a proverb. Proverbs are always in simple present form. And the fourth way, or the fourth sentence or type of sentence in which simple present can be used is when something is occurring in a habit. When a person has a habit of something, or when an event is occurring in a habitual form daily, right? For example, my father reads newspaper every morning. Now, this indicates the habit of my father of reading the newspaper every morning. So, this indicates the habit, and whenever you describe some habit of a person, that habit, if the habit is still in continuation, is always represented in simple present form. Rohan exercises daily. Now Rohan exercises. Rohan is a third form, right? So Rohan exercises daily. Again S is there, right? So Rohan exercises daily. Again, this is a habit of Rohan that he has to exercise daily. He cannot live without exercising. So Rohan exercises daily again represents the habit of that person. So these are the four types of sentences in which simple present tense can be used. First, it is the universal truth. Second, it is the event that occurs and is still occurring. Third is it is used in Proverbs. And fourth, when you have to describe someone's habit, right, of some event that takes place daily, then we make use of simple present tense. Now next we are going to cover the usage of simple present tense in negative sentences. So there is again a particular rule for making use of simple present tense for a negative sentence. So that rule includes subject plus do or does plus not, because not indicates the negative form of something. Subject, do, does plus not plus a form of verb in first form plus the object. Why are we using the verb in first form? Because we need to make a simple present tense. Example can be Sheena does not work for her, right? Sheena does not work for her. This indicates a negative sentence that you are not doing a particular action. You're not performing a particular task. So here Sheena is the subject. Does, we make use of does when we are referring to a singular person or a singular thing. Not is for the negative sentence, obviously. Work is the verb in first form, and for her over here is the object. Another example can be Rita and Seema do not dance. Now Rita and Seema, since these are two persons, therefore they are plural, they are in plural form, and with plural the helping verb is always do and it is not does. Not is again for mentioning the negative sentence, and dance over here is the object. Now this was the usage of simple present tense for the negative sentences. Now if you want to ask any kind of question, and that question sentence should be in simple present form. So for questioning something, in simple present tense, the rule is do, does, plus the subject, plus the verb in first form, followed by the object. Clear? Do, does, plus the subject, plus the verb in first form, plus the object. Example can be, do you like to sing a song? So do, you, right? Do over here from does or you. For you is a second form of a person, and for second form of the person, we will always make use of do and not does. Does is used for the third form. So do you like to sing a song? Sing is again verb. A song is again the object, right? Another example can be, does Rita live here? Now Rita is again a third form of a person, and for the third form of a person I make use of does. Live over here is again a verb plus the first form, and here is the object. Then another rule is the rule for asking the question using WH. When you ask the question using the word WH, then you start from WH plus do or does plus subject plus verb plus object. WH plus do plus does plus subject plus verb plus object. Example is, what do you eat in breakfast? So what do you eat in breakfast? WH, right? Do or does, we will choose do. For you, eat is again, you is again a subject, eat is the verb in the first form, and in breakfast is the object. So in this video we have covered simple present tense. We have studied about the different rules for using simple present tense, and then we studied some other different rules for making use of simple present tense for the negative sentences, for asking questions in simple present tense, and for asking the questions starting with the word WH.